Hi, I am Thomas Kelleher, and this is my first video on dissociative identity disorder, or DID for short. It is also known as multiple personality disorder, and it is what I have. I do have dissociative identity disorder. So how do we define dissociative identity disorder? The DSM-5 says DID can be diagnosed when two or more distinct properties or personality states are present, each with its own relatively enduring pattern of perceiving, relating to, and thinking about the environment and self. So what does that mean? What does it mean in my case? Because what does it mean? Over the past 5 years, I've gotten many diagnoses: depression, anxiety, schizoaffective. So when I first looked up dissociative identity disorder, I was in my worst state. I was worse than I've ever been. I was extremely depressed. I was having endless panic attacks. I had psychosis. When I brought up DNA to my therapist, he brushed it aside, and I trusted him, so I forgot about it. But about 5 years later after that, present day, I revisited dissociative identity disorder. I was inspired by another YouTuber's experiences with DID, and when I saw her talk about DID, I realized that was me. So I looked it up again, I read up on it, and I said, for sure, yes, this is me. This is definitely me. So how do I experience the alters? Alter referring to the other personalities I share with a body and a brain. Well, firstly, I am affected by the thoughts or voices. When I am zoning out, the cacophony of voices takes over, and it is just difficult to discern which alter is talking. In fact, one can start a sentence, and another might end the sentence. The internal voices can be quiet or loud, disconcerting or pleasant. When I address an alter directly, like Clark or Catherine or Philip, they will talk to me, and I don't have the same cacophony of voices interrupting us. Also, many times one of the alters will talk to me directly, but I don't know who's talking. So I ask who it is, and they almost always tell me. And it's strange, sometimes they don't quite tell me, I simply know who's talking. Another two interesting aspects of living with alters is emotion and bodily movement. The thing about emotions, when I thought there was just me and I was alone, I wouldn't be able to tell where emotions were coming from. I would have panic attacks that seemed to come from nowhere. I would cry for what felt like no reason. The thing about the alters is you share the emotional world. So I came to learn that my panic attacks were often due to one of my alters being triggered. And as for crying, I first assumed that the alters were just faking it. They knew how to fake crying, but that wasn't the case. Now I'm able to distinguish an alter's emotions from my own. Not only that, I know whenever my alters need help calming down, and I can soothe them. I can help them calm down. As for the body, first thing, my alters love to dance. They absolutely love it. Many of them are better dancers than me. So, my alters control my body? Yes, they do. Not all the time. Many parts make a whole, and I say this quite literally. One alter can control an arm, while another controls a leg, and another controls facial expressions. And each alter has certain habits. So over time, I've been able to see who is the front of consciousness, who's controlling what aspect of the body, what their habits are. And if they come from out of consciousness to the front of consciousness and take it away from me, this is called switching, which I'll go into more detail in future videos. Something subtle. Since meeting all my alters, I have a much greater understanding of my facial expressions, my tone of voice, and my body language. Much of the time, whenever my body is doing it at a certain time, it's not me. So I might try to say something innocently enough, I might try to say something to somebody, and but I don't notice that the author is layering it with sarcasm. I might laugh uproariously at a joke, but it's not really me laughing. It's one of the authors, and they all have different ways of laughing. And I might agree with somebody, but then my face is showing contempt, and I don't have control of it. I don't feel contempt, but the author does. Now this is fun. Some things people often associate multiple personality or disorder or DID with superheroes. Now you probably expect me to squash that idea, but I'm not going to. Sorry, it is kind of like a superpower. Say you put all of your effort into one area. Let's say science. That's okay. But let's say you had 16 people, 16 authors, all working towards the same area with the same amount of effort. And if you work well together, the sky is the limit. You guys can all work together to make what is typically the case only one person works for in the regular human being. Also consider, what if each author has a special talent, a special area of interest? I, the primary, the head of the head, I don't know, primary, the kind of the core person, I would get to experience many things and to learn many things by simply being exposed to it by my alters. And every alter will be experiencing every other alter's abilities and gain some expertise in that area. The result would be synergistic. So, that is my first video on DID, and I hope you subscribe because there are many videos to come where we can go even deeper into the world of dissociative identity disorder. Thank you.